Dead by Daylight has brought us absolutely tons of licensed killers over the years, and let's be real, some of them are so broken they can ruin your entire night in just one match. However, on the other hand, there are others, where the only thing broken about them is your will to keep playing them after you realise you picked them. So, today, I'm ranking every single licensed killer in Dead by Daylight, not by coolness, not by lore, but how broken they actually are. Some are S-tier nightmares that make you uninstall, others, well, F-tier charity workers who basically help survivors get the daily rituals done. So, grab your popcorn, your medkits, or maybe a little salt, because we're about to find out which licensed killers are truly cracked and which ones are just cracked in the end. So, without further ado, let's get to the tier list. Alright, here's the list, and just to be clear, when I say broken, I mean two things. Either completely overpowered, or literally just bugged. Both count. Right, anyway, let's get on to the first killer.
7 minutes. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you.
Right, we're starting off strong with Albert Wesker, aka Albert the Last Airbender. Because, you know, apparently his special ability is throwing survivors directly into walls, even if that wall is not there. Like, this man doesn't even care about geometry. If there's a pixel, if there's a pebble, if there's a single molecule in his path, you can actually get slammed into it. So yeah, I think we all know where this man is going, directly to the S tier, because this guy is flipping broken. Make sure to tell me your thoughts in the comments, and without further ado, let's get to the next killer. Right, Michael Myers. Behaviour recently gave him a buff, and now he can hold evil within 2 forever, and he gets to stalk multiple survivors at once. Pretty nice on paper, but in practice, still kinda mid to be fair. The thing is, Myers is actually pretty balanced. He's not broken, not useless either. He's right in that sweet spot, but the real reason he works is because Michael Myers doesn't need to be busted to be absolutely terrifying. That slow walk, the heavy breathing, the way he just stares at you from across the map. He's one of the only killers who's genuinely scary just by existing. So yeah, his new power isn't game breaking, but Myers himself is still nightmare fuel. That's why I'm going to put him in C tier. And then there's Freddy Krueger, who honestly sucks so bad you have a better chance of losing to a baby trapper than him. Like, come on man, this is Freddy Krueger, literal horror icon, king of nightmares. And in Dead by Daylight, he feels more like Freddy the Friendly Janitor. His power is basically, congratulations guys, you now get to play the exact same game, but with a light nap filter over it. Terrifying. If you actually lose to Freddy, either all your teammates DC'd, or you just need to take a break from the game, to be honest. So yeah, they definitely need to buff Freddy. Like, come on man. Like, they just did him dirty. So yeah, that's why I'm going to put Freddy Krueger at his well-deserved spot at D tier. Bubba, aka Leatherface. Well, normally he's terrifying, if you're not that great at going against him, but most of the time he's just a clumsy lumberjack swinging a chainsaw and missing. However, put a survivor in a basement hook or catch them near a proxy camp hook, suddenly Bubba turns into the unhooking nightmare. Anyone who tries to save them, instantly chainsawed. The hook, untouchable. It's basically impossible for survivors to get out. So yeah, he could be awkward on the open map, but in the right spot, Bubba becomes the map's ultimate death trap. So yeah, Bubba is not completely broken, but he's not completely balanced either in certain situations. So I think he's going to be put at a well-deserved spot at B tier.
What's your favorite scary movie?
And now we've got Ghostface. Honestly, he's kind of fun to go against, and relatively balanced as well. Not too busted, not too weak. But here's the thing, trying to counter his ability, it's like trying to win a staring competition with a mirror you can't look away from. You think you're unsafe, so you look away, and then you end up noticing him. So then, you look directly into his soul for like a good 10 seconds, you move camera angles to try and get the noise to know that you're exposing him. But guess what happens? He still exposes you. Like, come on man, behaviour bro, what are you doing? I've looked at him at every single angle and I still can't expose him. He just exposes me. So yeah, Ghostface is slightly broken. He's also sneaky, sometimes annoying, and makes every chase feel like a mini mental challenge. That's why I believe he has a deserved spot in B tier. Because he's not too broken, but he's slightly broken. Next up, we've got Pig. Honestly, she's actually pretty fun to go against. Her mind games, ambushes, and sneaky playstyle make chases interesting. She's balanced when played right, and yeah, she's a pretty solid killer. However, I did run into one weird bug where she somehow hit me through a pallet during a charge. Yeah, moments like that, exactly why I am putting her in C tier. Next up, we've got the Ghoul. On release date, he was absolutely insane, buggy, overpowered, like you literally just couldn't do anything to beat him. However, now, he has been nerfed, but don't get it twisted, he's still broken. His ability can hit you even when you're behind a wall, and escaping his chase is like trying to outrun a train, as he'll just keep leaping onto you. That said, he's still playable against. Once he uses his ability, landing a second hit is quite tough for him, and clever survivors can easily window fake him and pallet fake him. So he's deadly, but he's not unstoppable. That's why I am putting him at A tier. Next up, we've got the Demogorgon. Honestly, he's a really fun killer, both to play as and play against. His mobility and unique attacks make every chase feel dynamic and exciting. Sure, he has had some buggy moments in the past, but these days, he's actually really balanced. Nothing too crazy, nothing totally unfair, just a solid killer that rewards skill without making survivors want to uninstall. That's why I'm going to put Demogorgon in D tier. Next up, we've got Nemesis. He's balanced and honestly fun to go against. Chases are engaging, and his playstyle keeps you on your toes, especially due to his whip. However, he's not broken. His zombies are where things get weird. Sometimes they just don't move at all, and other times they just spawn in front of you out of nowhere depending on which map you're on. Classic really. And for Nemi himself, he's relatively easy to window a pallet fake, which is one very big counter towards Nemesis. So you can still outplay him. So yeah, he's not really broken, his zombies are, and he's a fun killer to play as and against. Honestly, not really much complaints. That's why I'm going to put him in C tier.
What are you looking at?
Next up, we've got Chucky. Tiny guy, right? You'd think he's harmless, but don't be fooled. His terror radius is basically non-existent, which is already a nightmare. And if you put him in tall grass or in those really long loops, yeah, he's insane. You'd be running around trying to find him, and suddenly he's right there. Boom! Popping out of nowhere and wrecking your day. Small but deadly, that's Chucky for you. Honestly, a very, very broken killer, especially since he's got the third person view. Meaning if he does have the 0 terror radius, he can literally just stand behind a wall and peek around the corner without actually making his body visible. Give him an absolute unit to go against. That's why I'm going to put Chucky in S tier. Next up, we've got Pyramidad. Overall, he's actually pretty balanced. Strong, but not completely busted. That said, his power is a little inconsistent. There are times when you line up the perfect punishment of the damage you're sure it's going to hit. For some reason, it just doesn't. The survivors walk away like nothing happened. Especially the one that makes his range attacks go so long. With that equipped, he's basically just sniping survivors across the map. So overall, I would say he's pretty balanced. Yeah, he has some overpowered things, but then there are some flaws in his powers. So overall, I'm going to give Pyramidad a solid C.
I came.
Now, let's talk about Pinhead. He's actually pretty broken, mainly because of those little chains. Once he activates his power, they just keep shooting at you constantly, slowing you down, making it nearly impossible to get anything done. Whether you're trying to vault something, heal, repair a generator, or even just trying to get the box in general. And then, there's the lament configuration. If you fail to solve the box, congrats, he just spawns on top of you while the chains are still harassing you. Basically a one-way ticket to death. That said, his main ability can be countered if you're quick. If you see him send out a chain, just run the other way and you'll dodge it. Still, between his chains and the box, Pinhead can be a serious nightmare. Using all this information, I have decided to rank the Cenobite at A tier. Because he is relatively broken, but I wouldn't say he's like insanely broken. He's not really buggy. He's overpowered, but he's not buggy, if that makes sense. Springtrap. On release, this guy was insanely broken, buggy, overpowered, and just an overall mess. Back then, survivors didn't stand a chance. But now, he's not nearly as bad. He gets the occasional hilarious bug, like the invisible axe swing or when his model decides to, you know, not spawn. But yeah, he's just not game breaking anymore, just janky enough to remind you of a nightmare once. However, he's still relatively overpowered. The axe in the back is still quite overpowered, especially since he can catch up so quickly to pull it out to secure the down/pickup. So yeah, using all this information, I decided to rank Springtrap as B tier.
I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared.
Next up, we've got the Onryo. She's actually pretty balanced overall, to be fair. Not too weak, not too strong, just enough to keep matches fair. But when she crawls out those TVs, whew, she's way too quick. Like, we're talking full-on Flash levels of speed. 1 second you're chilling on a gen, the next she's zipping out the screen like she's in a Marvel crossover. Also, trying to 360 that girl is like trying to win the lottery, mate. It's just not gonna happen. So yeah, overall, I'm gonna give the Onryo a solid C tier. The Alien, aka the Xenomorph. Honestly, he's a sound killer all around. Balanced, powerful, but also counterable, as you can easily window and pallet fake him. His tunnels are great, his ability is solid, and overall he feels like one of the best designed killers in the game. No major bugs, no weird nonsense, just a good killer who's strong without being unfair. That's why I'm going to give the Xenomorph a solid D tier.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Now let's talk about the Lich, and wow, is this guy something else. Every single one of his abilities feels cracked. You vault, schooled, you throw down the pallet, he either blocks it, smashes it, or just scoops up like it never existed. Tried to hide? Nope, he reveals you his dome. It's like no matter what you do, he has a direct counter ready to shut it down. Survivors can't breathe around this guy. He's less of a killer and more of a full-blown anti-fun machine. This guy is literally the definition of broken and overpowered. That's why I'm gonna put the Lich in S tier.
I don't say blah blah blah.
And last but not least, Dracula. On paper he looks overpowered. His whole kit is stacked, from throwing fire to turning into a flipping wolf that can lunge and break pallets, all the way to turning into bats and flying across the map. All these abilities sound like they should be game-ending, match-threatening. However, Travis definitely have a tough time when he's using everything perfectly. Thing is, here's the thing, that every single one of his abilities are easy to counter. His flight, just don't run, you can't see scratch marks. His fire, you see it popping up in his hands. That's how you know he's going to use his ability. So just move out of the way. Stand still for a bit and quickly move, because then you dodged it. And his wolf, just pre-drop or just respect pallets, because they always lunge at pallets. So while Dracula feels terrifying when you first face him, once you learn his tricks, he goes from unstoppable vampire overlord to more of a very angry guy in a cape. That's why I'm putting Dracula at B tier. So here we are, guys, this is the final tier system. As you can see, here are all the killers. I've ranked them all based on how broken they are. I hope you all enjoyed this video. 10 likes and I'll do a part 2 with all the non-licensed killers. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Comment down what killers you agree with and what ones you don't agree with. Thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, see you in the next one. Make sure to like, subscribe and comment what should I do next.